don't believe in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada when it comes to certain things. I believe in content, and if the content is good, a film will never fail. It's very unfair to blame the region.
She's very, very intelligent in the film. She knows how to play with a man. Any man to do things that she wants to do. She's beautiful. She's extremely intelligent. And I'm one guy who's, who knows how to get away from her clutches. I think I didn't sleep for 2 days before we shot that scene.
Which role Kamal sir was supposed to play? I'm so happy. I was just asking him.
No, I had a chance you would play all the 3 roles.
And with some help from prosthetics, maybe even the elephant.
Even the elephant.
Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes. My name is Sandesh Akte. Today we have with us the star cast of PS1. Firstly, welcome everyone to ETimes. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Okay, firstly, I want to individually ask you all, because PS1 is like everyone's waiting for this film for so long, and now that it's finally coming out, we can see it's mounted on such a grand scale with like the production value, of course, and the huge star cast. So individually, I just want to know, like, what were the challenges you all faced while you were shooting for this, while playing your character on set? I'll start with you, Vijay sir. Vikram sir.
I think you said Vijay first?
I said...
No, he's my friend, so it's okay. Don't mind. Just kidding. No, it's a very exciting role to play, but I had to ride horses and grow my hair, so I was a little worried about that because horses can be quite finicky sometimes, and so that was the most difficult part for this, because I realized that Mani sir is not going to settle for half speed or let's just trot. It's going to be gallop. Right. And when we go to the riding club, they say we don't gallop, we just trot, because it's dangerous. So, but when we come here, it's only gallop. So that thing was the only thing that was in the back of my mind. Right. So shouldn't I? I was talking to him like, so can we manage with dupes and stuff? But once we got there, like you realize when you could just get. It's so addictive and everybody kind of, it's contagious. You feel you need to just jump into it. And so finally, that's what, like the first time Karthi and I, it was a shot and he's already raced and he's fallen and like he's fallen from the horse. Like the trailer shot, you see the trailer shot, that wide shot where he gallops. The horse, he fell from the horse. Okay. I mean, it's a very risky thing. It was all real. So I heard about that too. So I was always, I've had an accident. So I was not scared, I was terrified. So as soon as he came and they saw the shot and I see this guy charging across and I said, Karthi, do we have to do it that fast? He said, Lila, it's okay. And we went there and then suddenly both of us were like flying and they had to come and tell us, why did you guys go so fast? So that was it. So I think that was the most difficult thing for me in this movie, apart from the fact that I'm working with Mani sir, so I know that every scene, every shot is going to be really strenuous, but it's going to be as equally exciting. So
Right. Sobhita, can you share some of your experience? Like, what was the one challenging part for you while you were shooting?
Very honestly, I didn't feel challenged. I felt there was a thrill for me because I think I had done parts which were a little heavier, and this was my first time doing something very nimble-footed, something very gentle and fluid and happy, and I haven't had a chance to play something like that. And while I was playing that, I discovered those parts of me, like in myself. So it was really beautiful for me. It was an uplifting experience. So I didn't feel challenged or burdened or, afraid. I felt liberated.
Trisha, I was asking you, so what was, if not any challenging, but how was your experience, just overall experience of shooting a grand film like this?
No, I had a very challenging moment.
Okay.
Waking up at 2 a.m. every day was the biggest challenge of my life because firstly, I'm not at all a morning person. I mean, I can stay up until 2 a.m. But then we couldn't stay up because we have to look good the next day, right? So, I mean, even how early can you go to bed to wake up at 2 a.m.?
But it get done also late. It's not like we had 12 hours.
We didn't have time also, like downtime or even a 6-hour window to sleep. So that was very challenging. I mean, the rest of it, I agree with her, was a pleasure to kind of get into the whole process of getting into character and finally being on set.
Right. Ravi, you can share some of your experience also.
Sure, it was a beautiful experience because, I've been in the industry for 20 years and I always kept thinking, why Mani sir didn't call me? Did I do something wrong? What was that one thing which kept him away from me? So I was thinking about it, and but he called me for such a big film, and he's given me such a great character. So there is nothing to complain about for me. I was very happy to do it, and I just challenged myself in the movie. That's all I would say.
Karthi, if you can share your experience of working with such a huge star cast, how was it like?
First, I was the last one to be cast, I think, of all of them, and I knew that Vikram sir was going to do it. Ravi was going to do it. I knew Ravi from our when we used to train for stunts. He was already an actor, but I was just training to be an actor.
Right.
And that's when I've met him. Vikram sir, I think he's called me. Whenever he's watched my film, he likes it. He'll call and talk about my performance in detail for 1 hour. That's the rapport I knew. But one thing I knew is I'm going to have a blast.
Right.
I knew we were going to have lots of fun. And with Mani sir behind us and getting to do Ponniyin Selvan, this film has been a dream for stalwarts of Tamil cinema. Like for 70 years, ever since the book got published in 1955, all the biggies, they wanted to make it into a film. Mani sir himself has tried it so hard. And finally, when he's making it, I think the entire industry was waiting to get a call from him. Will I get a part in this film? So that's how excited everyone was to become a part of this film.
Right.
But once we came in, I think the way we all gelled, we all understood it's a team. There was no insecurities. Each one was looking out for each other. Vikram sir would come and give me a tip. I would be doing some risky shot. He would say, have you fastened the waistband properly? So we were looking out for each other, all of us. That is something very rare, Right. It's only in family it happens. Yeah. That's how we all felt to be part of it together.
Right.
The girls had very strong characters to play, And Trisha, I've never seen her like this before. The amount of hard work she was putting into it, knowing her entire lines. With Mani sir, you cannot do just one shot. No, you can say anything later on. But, with Mani sir, he goes for long shots, long takes, It'll just go on for 1 minute or 2 minutes. The entire scene would be over in a single shot. So imagine how prepped you should be to be able to do it.
Right.
And we're talking ancient Tamil. So every day was challenging, but the most challenging was doing action. Like sir said, Mani sir doesn't like anything simple. He would say, ride the horse, jump off it, talk, climb the stairs, jump from the fort. Nothing can be simple. If he thinks that you're getting it easily, then he would make it a little more difficult for you.
Take away the net.
So he'll make sure, it's tough for you. Because he believes that only if it's tough for you, it's going to be entertaining on screen.
Right.
Like for example, one day I was rehearsing for a song. There were 3 different bits that I had rehearsed. So this was there. So I knew it's Bharatanatyam. It's not easy for me. All 3 bits, and I told the Brinda master, 3 bits I know. Please shoot one after the other. I'll be ready. How mindset makes it difficult for you? First he says you have to dance on staircase. Then he says I want a single shot. I'm dead. I'm like, Master, I'm already shy. I don't want to dance. Now suddenly you're saying this entire bit I have to do a single shot. So you can imagine, even if it is an easiest day, Mani sir can make it difficult for you.
Wow. And he could actually say, okay, down the steps, then do it on your hands. You needn't be surprised.
Vikram sir, like this movie, PS1, of course, is like a set to change, like game changer for Tamil industry, like which made on such a large scale with such a huge budget. Does that add pressure also in a way because there's so much expectation from a film?
Of course, any film, as Friday comes closer, you really get more and more tense. But this one, considering it's been out there for almost 70 years, and everybody's been wanting to do it, we've been like enthralled by the fact that we are in that film and we are part of the process. But as we're coming near closer to release, it can be quite intimidating.
Right.
Because it's not fantasy, it's history and fantasy, and it's a book that's been celebrated, and the present generation is actually reading it. And Karthi always talk about how everybody's got a fan club. This is one of those rare films. Like every character has a fan club.
Correct.
And Sobhita, she said this. Why all of us are in this film is everyone's character is so unique that you don't feel for a moment that maybe you have something that's mimicking. Like I have some characteristic that's mimicking Ravi's. I know that in my character there's going to be it's going to be very unique. So all of us have that. So our audience is also seeing that. Like if you walk around, maybe it's a slipper, your footwear, why is he wearing that? Or, those are the things those are the arguments that have been going on in social media right now, which is quite interesting for us because we put in a lot of hard work and research to get everything right. So, but you know how it's going. So that all is like suddenly it's coming together and it's sitting pretty heavy.
Right.
But otherwise, I think what we are taking away from this is we feel we are part of a process which is going to culminate in something so beautiful. It's not about the grandiosity. I think it's more about something that's so inherent to our popular culture and literature, and we're so happy to be a part of that, in whatever small frame or scene or whatever we may be in.
Right. Also, Ajay Devgn is doing the narration. Even Anil Kapoor's voice we
And
heard
thanks
in
to
the
both you
trailer.
guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Such an
So,
honor.
is it like roping in big stars like this? Is it important to appeal a pan-India audience?
No, when you get a voice, like see in Tamil when we had the trailer, we had Kamal sir's voice. You don't see when you normally you'll have an Amit sir's voice, Amitji's voice. It's like that. Why do you do that? Because it's not only because it's his voice and is recognizable, but they've done so much in the industry and they do lend something to the process, and I think that's very important. And so if he's using Mr. Devgan in this, it's definitely because he has his own way of showcasing his work, and I'm sure that's going to be a big help for our movie too.
Right. Sobhita, this film is releasing alongside the Hindi remake of Vikram Veda on the same day. So how do you think the response is, the audience is going to get divided maybe perhaps, or how do you think it's going to fare at the box office?
I think it's quite interesting how historically some of the biggest hits of Hindi cinema they've all clashed. I think Lagan came along with Gadar.
Yes.
And
that's right.
there was another clash like that. Some of the biggest films where both films had become like massive blockbusters that come at the same time, which indicates that when content is honest, made with zest, and is either relatable or aspirational, it's something that people can really go back home and feel like they've been nourished. I feel like people will want to consume that. And besides, I think they're very different films, so I don't think there will be any kind of visual exhaustion either.
And also it's a large playing field, I think. I think there are enough theatres and
Yeah.
Right.
that will also. Don't you agree?
Yeah, now there's so many distribution mediums, media, even digital streaming platforms, that it's really hard to say that there's only these two films that are coming out, because people now consume shows that are coming out across different timelines. So I think the idea of traditional competition has changed completely.
Right.
That I don't think it's that. There's enough for everyone.
Right.
And I would like to take this opportunity to wish Vikram Veda heartfelt wishes to Vikram Veda also.
I loved the trailer. I thought it looked really
It's a
cool.
fabulous film. The
Yeah.
story is so good.
Yeah.
And that's also originated in Tamil.
Yeah.
So the Cholas are actually
Not
coming.
this against that, but this and that. So
The
together.
Cholas are coming.
Trisha, in PS1, we the audience is talking about how there are some it has that feel of Mahabharat, Ramayana, that zone. How would you react, when someone like a fan perhaps approaches and asks you is it connected to Mahabharat or Ramayana? What would your reaction be?
Right now, I would tell them just wait. It's 4 more days. You'll know the difference. Because it's, of course, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, they're very significant. I've read the books, and it's different. I don't know, you can't compare the two, right?
Okay.
So you can't compare this to any of those either. They're all
Yeah, this is a historical fiction.
Right.
Some parts of the film actually happened 1,000 years back.
Yeah.
The character what Ravi plays, the
Partly
Ponniyin Selvan
true,
and
yes.
Kundavai and Aarti Karigal actually lived. So it's a historical fiction. So 30-40% of it actually happened, and the rest is fiction.
Right.
So it is very different from before only that, but it's as rich as those two epics. As rich.
Yeah.
Okay. Vikram sir, you recently spoke about the architectural finesse of the Indian temples that still hold its past glory. Do you think enough is taught about these in the Indian schools, or do we in education perhaps? Do you think there needs to be more awareness amongst school kids about these temples and the glory that they hold when it comes to the architectural designs?
I think when you go to the US, I think they have American history and they drum it into you. But we also have British and American history. We learn about everything, but not enough importance has been given to this. And I think someone rightly said earlier, films like this will definitely expose that part. Because instead of having a textbook and sitting in class, I'm sure people would love to go to a theater and actually witness something which is historic in some way.
Right.
And also, this way, Manisa, I think, is trying to make this like a reference point, because we've had MGR doing a lot of roles. I mean, we've had kings like that before. They used to have Roman garbs, like they used to have tunics, and they used to have that kind of, armor and things, which has given a very false picture of what could have been. So now they've done a lot of research to get that look in, and like the jewelry that they wear, or the costumes that we wear, the weapons. So we've tried to create something that, Mani sir's tried to create something that's very close to what may have been.
Right. Do you think our tourism could be better? Like, when people from the West talk about India, they perhaps talk more about Goa and, all these things.
But it depends on what you want. I think if they talk about Goa and Kerala, it's that kind of a crowd. But surprisingly, whenever I've been abroad, whenever I meet them, they get so excited about the temples. And what is so nice about India is, it's one of those very rare. See, China is also like that. China, you have snow, you have something akin to a desert. You have beautiful red seashores. It's all just like that. New Zealand is like that. But India is the only place, to my knowledge, which is like you can have like the highest mountains in the world, and then you have a desert, and then you have tributaries, you have rivers, you have and the cultures are so different. You could just cross a border and you actually speak a different language, and they love that. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about India.
Right.
And I'm sure a huge chunk of this film will honor that.
Also, Vikram sir, I want to know from you, like Mani sir has confessed this, that he saw Kamal Haasan also in the role that you are playing in PS1. So have you spoken to him about this? Like he had confessed in one of the past interviews. Yes.
But I've been wanting to know which role Kamal sir was supposed to play. I'm so happy. I was just asking another.
No.
Sorry,
No. Please.
Sorry, Karthik.
So you have not discussed.
No,
I chance you would play all the 3 roles.
And with some help from prosthetics, maybe even the elephant.
Even the elephant.
Okay, Karthi, like you've always nailed it when it comes to playing confident characters on screen. Do you have that shade in real life as well in your personality?
500
I don't know who said these things to you, but...
Sorry, we were like both of us answer.
We should actually. Yeah, we were the proof to see the confidence in him.
Oh my
He's
God.
a very confident person.
I don't know which films you're talking about, but I think all my films I've tried to be different in each film. I've tried not to repeat myself. Whereas in this film, this guy is a playboy, he can easily flirt with any woman. He has his way of getting along with people and traveling through the kingdom. He meets the royalty as well as the commons. Right. So this actually was very tough and responsible in a way, because I'm not in one shade in a place. He just changes for every scene. So that way, I sometimes I get beaten by women. Sometimes, sometimes I make a fool out of myself, and sometimes I look like a great warrior. So it's a huge mix. This character is a huge mix, and that's why it's very challenging too. Because since it's from a novel, there is already 5 lakh imaginations of a Vandiyathevan, and I have to live up to it. Right. So that way, I think this film is very, very different from any of my other films.
Right. And also the appeal for that character is that, Karthi, everybody loves that character only because of that.
Yeah. He's not the typical hero, no? He fails, he fumbles, and then he gets over it. Like Mani sir said, he's almost like an Indiana Jones, a version of an Indiana Jones. Right. I don't want to compare because it's very unique in its own way, giving credit to the writer, Kalki sir. But I think in an essence that, he's not the quintessential real, the bravo hero, but he's who fumbles and does.
Right. Also, was there any nervousness about sharing screen space with Aishwarya Rai?
Thanks for asking that. I think her first day was with me, and that's one of the very, very important scenes there are so many important scenes, but that's one very important scene in the film, and where she's very, very intelligent in the film. And she knows how to play with a man. She can just get any man to do things that she wants to do. She's beautiful, she's extremely intelligent, and I'm one guy who knows how to get away from her clutches. So that scene, you have to see so many layers between them. Every dialogue has another meaning to it. So that wasn't easy to get it right. I think I didn't sleep for 2 days before we shot that scene. Not just because I'm working with Ash ma'am, but because of that scene also. But she made it so comfortable for me. Right. When I was there, she made me feel so comfortable. She knew about me. She knew about my films. I was like, wow. I didn't expect that. She was so warm. Right. She was because we watched so many of her films. But when you go close, you can see how hard she works on each scene. She's ready with her dialogues. Imagine for her to know the ancient Tamil. And Mani sir, long shots, keep talking, keep short talking, we want to shoot. And we both have an exchange of dialogues. She was fab.
Trisha, I want to know from you. So, like in the past few months or more than a year now, South films are doing really well, at the box office compared to Hindi films. So, what do you think could be? You've worked in Hindi films also. So, I want to know, like, what could be the reason the Hindi cinema is faltering, or perhaps South films are doing better because of better content or better scripts?
Are you trying to get
what
us
are
in
your
trouble?
views?
Or, I mean,
No, I'm just asking.
is it a safe
It's
question?
a very safe question.
promise
Yes,
me that.
very safe question. Just want to know your views.
I don't believe in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada
Yes,
when it
well
comes
said.
to certain things. I believe in content, and if the content is good, a film will never fail. I truly believe that, and over the years of experience, I've seen that as well. So it's very unfair to blame the region, saying that Hindi films are faltering or Tamil films are faltering or whatever it is. I just think a good film, good content can never fail.
Actually, for Tamil also, we had a very lean phase just around the time the pandemic coming down. The lockdowns had gotten done. So only now that suddenly, it happens all over. Suddenly that we are...
I think everyone, even as actors, we have our lows.
Yeah, we have
our
lows and highs.
MIA years. It happens. So
It's just
good cinema will always win. Yeah.
Okay, last question for everyone individually. If you can name one Mani Ratnam film, favorite Mani Ratnam film of yours. Of course, you can't name PS1 because you all have worked in it. So, apart from PS1, one Mani Ratnam favorite film.
For me, it's Maunaragam.
Okay.
That's one of his earlier films. It's a beautiful film. It's a little like what was Ash and Salman's movie?
Hum Dil De
Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. That's the plot will be almost like that.
Okay.
It's such a, evocative film. I loved every. In fact, I'll know the re-recording. I'll know the dialogues. It's that kind of a thing. Every film of his. You can actually talk about every film of it. But that film holds a very special place in my heart.
Right.
And he's a master craftsman. And
Okay, Sobhita, yours.
I actually haven't watched all, but I remember Iruvar having a strong influence on me because I watched it when I was really young. So somehow that visual language, I grew into it. So I count it as special. There's so many I like, but I think that is special.
That one film. Okay,
Yeah,
Trisha.
very hard to pick. He's had cult films like Nayakan and Talabadi. But I don't know, my personal pick, which I told Sir himself, is Dil Se. Uire in Tamil, yeah.
Right. Ravi.
Nag.
Wow. Karthi,
For
yours?
me, I think Iruvar, I love all his films, but Iruvar was very special because it was about two iconic figures in Tamil Nadu, and one of them was alive. Like how the Dravidian movement started, and something which is happening in society in the recent past was being made into a film. I don't know how he saw it. When I asked him, he said, "How can you not see it?" He said, it's a phenomenon happening right in front of your eyes, where just after independence, a new way of thinking is coming in, and then new leaders are emerging, and cinema was a very strong influence on politics in Tamil Nadu, and the way he captured it, the way he portrayed these two personalities, whom almost every household knows. Imagine such a big responsibility to bring them on screen and make them look alive and right. It wasn't an easy film at all, but the aesthetics of the film, the performances in that film, is stunning. Till today, it's stunning. Very underrated film, though.
Okay, amazing. That's great. Thank you so much, guys, for talking to us, and all the best for PS1.
Thank you so much.
Amazing questions.
Thank you.
thank you. Questions.